Welcome to question 4 of the 2017 Mathematical Methods Exam 1 for the Southern Hemisphere. In this video we will be looking at the solution and examination advice for this question. A reminder that this video is in no way endorsed by VCAA. So for question 4 we have, in a large population of fish, the proportion of angelfish is 1/4. Let capital P hat be the random variable that represents the sample proportion of angelfish for the sample size n drawn from the population. Find the smallest integer value of n such that the standard deviation of P hat is less than or equal to 1/100. So the first thing we're going to do is look at our formula sheet and see that there's a formula for the standard deviation of P hat. So we're just going to write that out to the side here, that the standard deviation of P hat is equal to the square root of P times 1 minus P over n. So for this question we want the standard deviation to be less than or equal to 1 divided by 100. So I'm just going to solve the equals to equation. So we're going to have 1/100 is equal to the square root of, and P hat is 1/4 times 1 minus P hat, which is 3/4 divided by n. So therefore we have 1/100 is equal to, and 1/4 times 3/4 is simply going to equal 3/16. And now instead of dividing by n, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 1/n. So we find that 1/100 is equal to the square root of 3 divided by 16n. And now when we square both sides, because we need to solve for n, we're going to have 1/100 squared is equal to 1/10,000, and that is going to equal just 3/16n now. And our job now is just to solve that equation. So starting off by multiplying both sides by 16n to get the variable we're solving for out of the denominator and into the numerator, we find that 16n over 10,000 is equal to 3. And now we can simplify this down. So 16n over 10,000 is the same as 8n over 5,000. And some people may be able to do this quicker, but I'm just going to go methodically and simplify this one step at a time. So the next step for me is to say that 4n over 2,500 must equal 3. And now for this last step, we would just have n over 625 is equal to 3. So therefore, our value of n is just 3 times 625, which is 1,875. So that is the smallest integer value of n, such that the standard deviation would be less than or equal to 1 divided by 100. So from the examiner's report we can see that 31% of students got full marks for this question, with nearly a third of students getting no marks for the question. The examiner did say that students identified the correct formula well. However, many were unable to correctly transpose the inequality to solve for n, or to correctly manipulate the arithmetic involving rational numbers. Some students had poor use of notation work, in that they did not extend the square root sign to include the n. So just to elaborate on, that's where this square root sign that I've just drawn in red needed to come down to include this n down here, as that's also under the square root sign.